Right now at 5, a historic hotel in Reddings Mill announces an abrupt and permanent closure.
And we've got shower and thunderstorm chances continuing today, and some of those could be strong. We'll have a look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a fire leaves a well-known Wichita food truck in ruins. We'll hear why the owners are determined to rebuild.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Monday. It's the last day of June.
Yes.
We kick off July tomorrow. It is June 30th today. We had strong, severe thunderstorms yesterday, and points east of us really took it hard.
Yes.
Springfield even had Jasper County and JPD handling their overflow 911 calls. We have more thunderstorm chances today, and some of those could also be strong to severe. And we're keeping our eye on a line of storms that right now is pretty far off to our northwest, but we need to monitor very closely over the next couple of hours. Let's start, though, that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Roads are still wet. We've had showers pushing through. We're drying out in the area for now, but that will eventually begin to change. As we look at the MoDOT camera, 20th and Range Line, this went down yesterday with the storms, but as you can see, the signal there, 20th and Range Line, is flashing. And the MoDOT folks have a lot to take care of in Springfield right now, so as you start your morning commute, just do keep that in mind as you head out, that you'll want to use caution at that particular intersection. Skywatch Storm Tracker. Doesn't look all that bad in our area. We've got a few showers out there right now. What we're watching is this line of storms out here that right now is, as you can see, to the west of Salina. The severe thunderstorm warning that is in place runs until 5:30 out there, and it's for winds up to 60 mile an hour and about 3/4 inch size hail. So it's about penny size. And so it's moving southeast at 45. So here's why we want to keep an eye on this particular line of storms. At this particular point, they are supposed to, according to model data, these storms should be or should have already begun to turn east. That's not to say they still won't, but if they don't, then they're eventually going to make their way into our areas. So that's why we want to keep an eye on them. Now, again, the trend or the expectation is here soon they should start to turn to the east, but at least right now they have yet to do that. On top of that, we're seeing some recycling development out to our west, nothing too crazy, and at least for right now, we're going to stay dry, but we will eventually get more scattered storms as we head through the morning. They'll be scattered through the day. It'll be off and on thunderstorms, and we'll have additional storms later this evening. And it's going to be this evening, again, depending on what that line to our northwest does. It's going to be after 5, and I'd say between 5 and midnight that we're going to see our best window for another round of strong, possibly severe thunderstorms out there, with hail and wind being the primary concern. Sitting at 71 in Joplin, 70 in Pittsburgh. We'll take a look at temperatures across the region, and they look like this. Got some upper 60s out there for a good number of us, and we also have a fair mix of low 70s, so a little more comfortable, a little closer to normal for us. Highs, again, are going to be impacted by who sees how much sunshine and cloud cover, rain, and all that once again, but we're looking to be about the mid-80s with just those scattered thunderstorm chances out there across the area. West wind at around 5 to 10. We're going to have another full look at your forecast, talk about our storm chances today, how the rest of this week is shaping up, and of course, we'll keep an eye on those storms to our northwest. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, an early morning shooting has left a man in the hospital and 4 people in the Crawford County Jail. 911 call came in around 4 a.m. and directed Crawford County deputies to the Maple Tree Apartments. Deputies found 36-year-old Antoine Sams with a gunshot wound to his abdominal area. Deputies began to render aid and quickly secured the area. Sams was transported to the Girard Medical Center and later sent to another hospital to receive higher care. Detectives were able to quickly identify and detain 4 suspects: 61-year-old Ricky Burns Sr., 33-year-old Ricky Burns Jr., 34-year-old Cody Hammond, and 41-year-old Demetra Durden. All 4 are currently in the Crawford County Jail facing charges of felony interference with law enforcement. Burns Sr. is facing additional charges of attempted murder and possession of marijuana. Durden has also been charged with a felon in possession of a firearm. This incident is still under investigation. Well, wet and rainy conditions Saturday caused havoc on the road. Saturday morning, reports of an overturned vehicle on I-44 alerted first responders. The eastbound pickup hydroplaned at highway speeds and overturned. The female driver was transported to the hospital suffering non-life-threatening injuries. Metro Towing removed the crashed pickup and traffic resumed normal conditions after about 60 minutes. Well, a historic Four States hotel has announced its permanent closure. The historic Reddings Mill Inn announced Friday they are closing permanently. The inn released a statement on social media stating in part, quote, "It is with heavy hearts that we announce Reddings Mill Inn is officially closed effective immediately. We want to thank each and every one of you who supported us over the years. It's been an honor to be a part of this community and to serve so many wonderful guests. While this chapter is coming to a close, the memories we've made here will never be forgotten," end quote. Now, this closing comes abruptly. Even as recently as Friday, the hotel was announcing Thursday night was Ladies' Night. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. The owners of a popular Wichita food truck are starting over after a recent fire destroyed the truck and everything inside. Brock Wilson has more.
She went to the back of the truck and it was just engulfed in flames.
Kelly Ake and Barb Tabor were taking Ken and Barbie's Rollin' Diner to an event in Hayesville Tuesday night.
Going down the highway, the generator had stopped. The back of the truck was on fire. I mean, I just pulled over, stopped. Barb and I seen the flames and the smoke. She exited, I exited. Oh my God!
Their livelihood was going up in flames.
Oh my God! And at that point, all we could do was go to the corner away from the truck. They called 911. And we just watched it burn.
The fire destroyed their food truck, but it's not just their future they're worried about. It's the community they know relies on them.
It's hard to know that we're not able to follow through with our commitments and our scheduling. It's hard to not be able to give back, and it's hard to be on the position to need help.
It won't be easy to rebuild.
We stay extremely busy, and with this being our livelihood, I mean, it's going to cut real deep for us.
But despite the setback, Kelly and Barb are promising they will be back with a little help.
We've had a lot of other food truckers reach out to us, offering up what they can. It might not be an actual truck, but anything from coolers to tents to generators.
And a lot of support from customers, family, and friends.
I do want to thank everybody that has reached out on our Facebook and phone calls, text messages. It really does mean the world to us. I mean, it's very touching. It's going to be okay. We're going to be all right. It's going to be okay.
Now to look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. A deadly ambush in Idaho claims the lives of 2 firefighters and one is still fighting to survive. And we're tracking rain chances for today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch, police are describing the killing of 2 firefighters responding to a blaze in northern Idaho as a total ambush. Police say a 3rd firefighter is currently fighting for his life. Now, according to authorities, a suspect is believed to have set a fire on purpose before shooting at first responders who arrived on the scene to put out the blaze. Naomi Ruckham has more from New York.
A solemn scene as the bodies of 2 slain firefighters were escorted through Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
There's multiple gunshot wounds. 2 Coeur d'Alene firefighters are down.
Local police say they were killed when firefighters came under sniper fire around 2 p.m. local time, shortly after responding to a wildfire on Canfield Mountain. At least 1 other firefighter was injured. Police now believe the suspect set the fire intentionally.
This was a total ambush. These firefighters did not have a chance.
The sheriff says law enforcement exchanged fire with the suspect. The standoff ended later Sunday when the dead body of the suspected gunman was found with a firearm nearby after authorities honed in on a cell phone signal. The sheriff says the suspect's body, along with a number of guns, were pulled from the mountain as the wildfire rapidly approached the scene.
We believe that is the only shooter that was on that mountain at that time. So there is no threat to the community at this time.
Multiple state and local agencies, along with the FBI, responded to the scene. A no-fly zone had been in effect as helicopters flew over the mountain, carrying snipers and deploying heat-seeking technology in the search for the suspect. A shelter-in-place order was lifted shortly after the body was found, though authorities are warning the public to stay away from the mountain due to the active fire. Investigators are expected to go up to collect more evidence this morning. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
So far, police say they're not releasing the names or any information on the victims nor the suspect, though they say the injured firefighter is out of surgery and in stable condition. The sheriff told reporters that at this time, investigators do not know if the suspect shot himself or was killed in the exchange of fire with law enforcement. And still to come, a new study reveals that severe COVID may speed up brain decline in older patients. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Monday forecast. Well, it was a sight to see a moose on the loose in the middle of Colorado Springs. Now that 650-pound animal is safe after an unusual rescue operation. Paige Reynolds has more.
A 650-pound bull moose cooling off under the summer sun after wandering a little too far from home.
We have a lot more moose in Colorado than people know.
This one found its way into Cottonwood Creek Park, hiding near the water in a busy urban area.
There's lots of willows down there, there's water, perfect place for moose to be.
But it wasn't a safe place to stay. Officers immobilized the moose, cooled her down, and then faced a massive task getting her out.
It took like 5 or 6 folks and a 12,000-pound winch to get her up the side of the creek, up to the truck area and then into the trailer.
This isn't where you'd expect to see a 650-pound moose taking a stroll through Colorado Springs, but today one got an officer escort, a hose down, and a one-way trip back to the wild. The moose was transported west to a remote area of Teller County, far from neighborhoods and heavily trafficked trails. Wildlife officials say dogs are often what set moose off, and encounters can turn dangerous fast.
A dog to a moose is a predator, and they don't like that. If that moose pins its ears back and wants to go somewhere and comes towards you, run. Get out of the way, because the moose will not stop.
Parks and wildlife officers say if you see a moose in an urban area, call them immediately. Do not try to approach, feed, or photograph it up close.
Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got showers and thunderstorms still as a chance for us today. And just a reminder, of course, the light there, 20th range line, is in flash mode, so do use caution during your morning commute. We do have those thunderstorms off to our northwest. Still waiting to see exactly what they do. We're going to break down those details, what our expectations are for strong storms today, how the rest of the week is shaping up when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:20 now on this Monday morning. Got a bit to talk about, at least for today, before things dry out once again for a little while for us. All right, we do have a few isolated scattered showers across the region right now. We've had, of course, the thunderstorms yesterday that some of those got pretty intense, especially east of I-49, rolling into the Springfield area. That goes back to yesterday. We only had a level 1 out of 5 severe risk. It got upgraded as storms began to develop and redevelop, because even with all the technology, all the computers, everything in the world, you can't tell Mother Nature what to do. You can take your best guess, and sometimes she throws you a curveball. Now, one curveball we are watching is this activity now that is, again, it's off to our northwest. In fact, if I step aside, there's our immediate coverage area, and here's where those storms are, slowly closing in. Now, the expectation on the computer data is that honestly, an hour ago, these storms should have began making an easterly turn. They have not done that as of yet. They are still moving southeast. Now, they are slowing down. They were moving at 45. They've slowed down to 35, but they are still moving southeasterly, and the Wichita Weather Service office has expanded the severe thunderstorm warning ahead of these. Right now, winds 60, 70 miles an hour are the greatest concern with this line. So we're going to watch it as we head through the morning and see whether or not it does eventually start to turn east, or if it continues its southeasterly track. So you can see where it kind of got together here, and you can also see where it began diving south and east pretty quickly. But again, computer data, model data, everything we've looked at this morning says it should have turned east, or at least still should be turning east. If it does at this point, given how long that line is, it could still scrape our northern counties, even if it turns east in the next half hour. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, earlier this morning, when the first warning came out, it was moving at 45. That would have put it into our area a little after 8 o'clock or so this morning. But again, we just want to watch it. There's no guarantee that it'll make it here. It may actually go ahead and turn east here soon, and if it does, that would be great. If it doesn't, we got to keep an eye on it because, again, gusty winds are going to be the concern. Outside of that, we do have the chance for some small hail and some additional gusty winds later this afternoon into the evening hours across the area, with another round of showers and storms expected to develop. So we've got scattered storms out there, and some of us may even dry out for a bit, and then after 5 we get another round of strong, potentially low-grade severe thunderstorms that will dive south across the area, which is why wind at this point is going to be the greatest concern with these storms, and they'll continue, at least for some of us, through the late evening and overnight hours. And then as we head into our Tuesday, finally, a break from the activity. And to be honest, it is kind of rare to have this kind of severe weather this late in the season. We can get some isolated severe thunderstorms here and there in the summertime. That's not out of the realm of possibilities there. But to have intense thunderstorms like we saw yesterday and like what's occurring to our northwest now is a little bit out of place for this time of year. Once we get, again, beyond our storm chances today, we're going to clear out. We're partly cloudy for our Tuesday. We'll have a northerly breeze out there. Partly cloudy for our Wednesday. Temperatures will begin warming up, and by Tuesday afternoon, not too dissimilar from today initially, will only be a few degrees warmer tomorrow than what we're expecting today, but going back up a few more of us into the upper 80s out there, and that warming trend will continue as we get closer to the 4th of July holiday. By Wednesday, yeah, it looks okay by noon, but again, we start heating back up, start seeing more upper 80s over a broader portion of the area. As for this morning, again, just leaving these scattered storm chances in there. We're going to see what happens with that activity to our north and west. We'll be mid-70s by 8, low 80s by 11. And again, similar to what we saw, I think, last Friday, our temperatures are going to be obviously significantly impacted by the cloud cover and the rain. We're looking to average about the mid-80s. If a few of you get a little more sunshine, you have some upper 80s out there. If you get a little more rain, you may not make it into the low 80s even. So just something to keep in mind with those temperatures. We'll have a west breeze 5 to 10. Scattered storms through the evening, and they should start wrapping up overnight tonight. Winds expected to be calm. Now, everybody's also curious about the 4th. Thursday, Friday, the 3rd and the 4th, we do still have the possibility of some isolated pop-up storms. So we're not looking at anything like what we've seen yesterday or what we're expecting today. It'll be one of those, situations where it's 2, maybe 3 little pop-up storms. So don't cancel your plans again. Just keep an eye on things. And we'll be cruising back into the low 90s as we head into the holiday weekend and the start of next week. Let's check your forecast. Now we're going to send it over to Elise with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, we're learning more about how COVID damages cognitive function in the brain. A study published by JAMA found older people who were hospitalized for severe COVID saw their cognitive function decline faster than normal. But people who were infected by COVID but had less severe cases, were never hospitalized, did not see an impact on their cognitive health. And obesity among young people in the U.S. has gotten significantly worse in the last 15 years. Researchers from Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center found the biggest increase in youth obesity was among Black people. The research shows lack of physical activity, lack of access to healthy food, plus increased stress during the pandemic made the problem even worse. Well, do you feel like you have a short attention span? Try and focus for the next few seconds, as researchers at Ohio State University explain why. Now, they found that the biggest factors that led to short attention spans are stress and anxiety. Number 2 is a lack of sleep, and number 3 is our digital devices. Only 1 in 4 people say they have no trouble with their attention span. It's estimated up to 10% of children with cerebral palsy are diagnosed with the type that inhibits balance and coordination. One teenager who has the condition has helped create a first-of-its-kind FDA-cleared brace to help kids like him control tremors. Danya Bacchus has the story.
Since he was 9 years old, Dylan Ball has had one wish.
If you had magic powers, what would you do?
My hand wouldn't shake.
Dylan has ataxic cerebral palsy, a condition that affects muscle movement and control.
I think I kind of knew my whole life that I was different.
All of his life, tremors have caused him to struggle with things like drinking, writing, and playing.
Over the years, you try all the different things. Weighted silverware. There was a watch. There were electrodes on his neck. There were wrist weights. Anything that would try to hold the tremors more steady.
None of those things worked. Now at 17 years old, he says there's finally a device that gives him the magic powers he's always wanted, and he helped create it.
To be completely honest, I never grew up thinking, oh my gosh, I want to be an innovator.
It's called the Move D. The D stands for Dylan, a brace that helps minimize extremity tremors for people with movement disorders.
So it is providing resistance against the tremor.
Dr. Sharif Tarman is a pediatric neurologist at Children's Hospital Orange County.
That sensory input back over the triceps helps kind of tell the brain you don't need to shake so much, and oh, by the way, this is where your arm is in space.
For years, Dr. Tarman worked with a team of doctors, Dylan, his mother, and University of California Irvine biomedical engineer students to create the adjustable brace that can loosen or tighten based on fine or gross motor movements.
Yeah, that's way smoother.
The brace was designed for children, but also fits adults.
If you told my 9-year-old self that this project would be where it is now, I wouldn't believe you. This has changed my life.
And he's hoping this device does the same for others. Danya Backus, CBS News, Orange, California.
That's a look at Health Watch. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, Neosho shuts down some streets for a full day full of fun to celebrate the city.
And we've got the opportunity for more scattered showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong, potentially severe. You got to look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, Deerfield, Missouri celebrates the 4th of July with a firework extravaganza that brought fun for the whole family.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:32. I'm Elise Snowy.
I'm Chris Warner. It's Monday. It's June the 30th, the last day of June. The 1st is obviously tomorrow. The 4th is this Friday. And of course, if you're celebrating, hopefully you're going to do so safely.
Right.
And responsibly.
Yes.
You want to be able to go back to work on Monday with the same number of fingers that you had
That's the goal.
when you left work on Thursday. All right. We also have thunderstorm chances we got to deal with this morning and into the afternoon as well. We're going to start first with a look outside downtown Pittsburgh. We've got cloudy skies. We had some showers earlier, but we have dried out for most of us out there. And a reminder, again, until they can get out there and reset it, the traffic signal there, 20th range line, is a 4-way stop. And I know as it gets busy, especially by the rush hour this morning, that could lead to some issues. So just be cautious up there and just make sure you follow the rules of a 4-way stop. All right, got some showers across the region. They are light showers scattered out there, becoming a lot more isolated. What we want to watch, actually, is this activity up here around Salina now, riding the I-70 corridor. So the latest information from the Wichita Weather Service office says that these storms are beginning to weaken a bit, which is some good news. And also their update to this severe thunderstorm warning that runs until 6:30 now has these storms moving east. We talked about how model data said these storms would be turning east, and honestly, model data suggested these storms should have turned east about an hour ago, but it does look as though they're beginning to rotate east. And if that's the case, if they really do start to make a more easterly track, they could clip our northern counties. But if they're in a weakening state, then you'll just get some rain, some thunder and lightning up there. You won't have to deal with severe weather. However, we'll have to get the radar loop through a few more times here to be sure, but they might not turn east. And if that's the case, while they could still weaken, maybe not be severe by the time they get here, we just want to keep an eye on them if they decide to continue to push southeast a little closer to home. Later this afternoon into the evening, we do have a chance for some strong low-grade severe thunderstorms. Some small hail possible and some gusty winds are possible as well. So we just want to keep an eye on that. The best window there is going to be between about 5 and midnight. So on to the future track, scattered showers, thunderstorms. Some of us may get pauses in activity, but as you can see on the future track here, there will be spotty storms just about everywhere. And then later this evening, look at how quickly that that dives to the south. In fact, I think that's now a little further south than it was when we looked at this earlier. It stopped about here by 8 around the Nevada, Fort Scott to 54 corridor. So that's again also why damaging wind gusts are the main concern with any of the stronger storms we see later today. Quick look at those temperatures, down to 70, both Joplin and in Pittsburgh right now. And across the area, we've got a fairly good mix of upper 60s and low 70s. We are starting to see a few more low 70s out there, though. Independence and Neodesha, Fort Scott, Nevada, both are all rather at 68 in some of the cooler locations out there. So again, not too bad, especially considering how mild our overnights have been here lately. Now again, I do want to emphasize as well with our highs, remember we have a 15 county area. This is an average of about the mid-80s. Some of you, if you get a little more sunshine, might be a little closer to 90. Those of you maybe get a little more rain, might be a little closer to 80. But in between, we should make about 85. Scattered storms and west winds 5 to 10. We'll continue to track those storms off to the northwest. If anything changes, we'll certainly let you know. We'll break down all of our storm chances today and how the rest of this week is shaping up here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, an LGBTQ plus pride event took place in the small town of Chanute, Kansas, Saturday afternoon. The Follow the Rainbow Pride celebration lets local LGBTQ people mingle and enjoy food and drinks. Also a part of the celebration is remembering the history of Gilbert Baker, a Chanute native who designed the first rainbow pride flag.
This took months and months of planning, multiple phone calls to vendors, working with our city officials, working with the police department, having amazing sponsors like Kay's Place, Outsiders, and The Hangout. We've really built a really good foundation for ourselves for next year to do Pride again.
Kay's Place served a specialty drink in honor of a Pride named the Gilbert after the Pride flag founder. DJs were also set up playing music for people on Main Street. And roads in historic downtown Neosho are being blocked off Saturday afternoon as crews get ready for the city's annual Celebrate Neosho event. The all-day celebration showcases the best of Southwest Missouri, from early morning walks in Big Spring Park and local farmers market shopping to live music, food, games, and more. The courthouse square transitioned to foot traffic only, with vendors, food trucks, and local businesses ready to welcome crowds. And Drywood Gulch Fireworks Stand brings the boom to the small town of Deerfield, Missouri. Their firework extravaganza celebrates Independence Day by bringing in food trucks, vendors, and a beer garden. The fireworks stand had a large fireworks show after dark, with the show lasting around 45 minutes.
When we first started, it was a smaller show, and the show is just built bigger every year. I know this year over 350 cakes and probably, I'd say 700 artillery will be going off.
The extravaganza took place in the parking lot at Embry's Food Truck Stop in Deerfield. The family-friendly event had something for people of all ages, from bouncy houses to fire trucks. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. The Senate spending plan could raise the federal deficit to drop millions of Americans from health care coverage. Plus, Chrysler is recalling its Pacifica and Voyager vehicles due to a safety issue. We'll have the details. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, the Congressional Budget Office says the Senate version of President Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill could add nearly $3.3 trillion to the deficit over the next decade. That's almost $1 trillion more than the House-passed version of the bill. Now, the CBO's analysis also predicts that the Senate's changes could cause nearly 12 million Americans to lose their health insurance. The Senate continues consideration of the massive budget and border spending package today. And Chrysler is recalling more than 250,000 Pacifica and Voyager vehicles to replace the side curtain airbags. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says improperly sealed seams could cause the airbags to not hold enough pressure during deployment to limit risk to passengers during certain types of crashes. The recall impacts model years 2022 through 2025. And Apple original film F1 the movie zoomed to the top of the weekend box office, opening with $55 million in North America and $144 million globally. How to Train Your Dragon was second with 19 million, and Elio was third with nearly 11 million domestically. Megan 2.0 debuted fourth with just over $10 million. That's a look at Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, again, we've got clouds out there. We've got shower and thunderstorm chances across the region as well. And I know we mentioned it, but just we know in the next, hour or so, this is going to be a very busy intersection here. And until they get the light reset, just make sure as you're approaching 20th and Range Line, you are prepared to stop and, of course, proceed carefully. We're going to talk more about our thunderstorm chances, what we're watching this morning and what we're watching this afternoon when we come back.
Well, investigators say a man kicked an ag detector beagle at an airport, and now he's on his way home. Details in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. Union members have voted to strike at the largest beef processing plant in the U.S. Teamsters Local 577 saying members voted to authorize a strike at the Tyson Foods plant in Amarillo, Texas. The Teamsters saying it represents 3,100 workers in slaughtering and processing at that facility. They're demanding higher wages and better benefits. The facility in Amarillo has a daily slaughter capacity of 5,500 head. A story we've been following, the battle over a family farm in Cranberry, New Jersey. A township committee pushing the owner to sell, offering him millions, now targeting it for seizure by eminent domain. So low-income affordable housing can be built. Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins saying on X she was signing a letter to the city urging officials to halt the plan, adding if federal funds are involved, it could be against the law. And a 70-year-old man from Egypt has pleaded guilty to federal charges and is on his way back home after investigators say he kicked Freddie, a U.S. ag detector dog. Officials say Freddie was inspecting bags at Washington Dulles Airport, and investigators had started to question the man. Then he kicked Freddie, lifting the 25-pound beagle off the ground. Now, the man was arrested and was found to have more than 100 pounds of prohibited food products in his luggage. Freddie suffered some cuts, but is expected to be okay. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Let's head over now to Chris for a full look at your forecast.
We've got shower and thunderstorm chances periodically throughout the day today. We could see some additional strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms later this afternoon and into the evening, but we're also still watching closely this complex of storms. It's off to our north and west. Now, again, should be turning east. Latest warning data says it's turning east. We still need to get a few radar loops in to be 100% certain, but if it does begin to turn east, while it is weakening, which is what Wichita has said, which is good news, it could scrape some of our northern counties if it takes that easterly turn right about now. So we'll keep an eye on that. Not expecting much from it, but we still want to monitor because as we saw yesterday, it doesn't matter what kind of technology you have. Sometimes Mother Nature throws you a curveball, and that is exactly what happened. And unfortunately, our friends to the east, especially into Springfield, really got hit hard by some storms that were not anticipated to be that intense. So we just want to keep an eye on these thunderstorm chances as we head through the morning hours. Into the afternoon and evening, though, we have a level 1 out of 5 severe risk. No tornado areas highlighted, but we do have the potential for perhaps some small hail. And again, the primary concern is going to be with gusty winds out there as well. So what does that look like on the future track? It looks like this. Scattered showers and storms. Now, I also want to mention, take a look at this map. We have a 15-county area here. Our highs today there's the possibility they're going to vary widely again, where we get some places near 90 and others maybe just barely scraping 80. And it's going to depend on how much rain, cloud cover, sunshine, all that mixed up stuff that you see, and that's going to have a big impact on temperatures around the area. We're expecting shower storms scattered through the day, through the morning, into the afternoon, and then after 5, we get this complex of storms. It begins diving south. So here we are at 7. It's right around Lamar to Pittsburgh, back towards Chanute, Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton, and continues to dive south and potentially even expand across parts of southeastern Kansas. So back toward Parsons, Oswego, Coffeyville, Independence, Fredonia, and back toward Howard. So we'll see exactly how this plays out, but that's going to be our window between, say, about 5, 6 o'clock this evening and midnight for the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. Once they push through, we'll be mostly cloudy overnight, a few lingering showers or storms here or there. Towards sunrise, we begin to go partly cloudy, and our Tuesday starting to look a lot better. In fact, we even have a northerly breeze out there, but temperatures will begin to slowly climb as we head into Tuesday afternoon and evening. So So again, today an average of the mid-80s. As we go into Tuesday with partly cloudy skies, everybody getting a mix of cloud and suns. We're going to see cloud and sun, rather. If there's more than one sun, we have a problem. We're going to start to see a few more upper 80s out there by Tuesday afternoon, and we head into Wednesday, and our temperatures will continue to climb slowly but surely, and we'll eventually get to the point where we start to see a lot more upper 80s and fewer of those mid 80s. And you can see Monette, Nevada, for example, here both at 85 by Wednesday afternoon and evening, but most of us above 85, so the upper 80s out there. As for the rest of our morning, we've got the clouds. We've got to see what those storms out to the northwest do, so we're still leaving scattered storm chances out there through the morning, because again, even if they begin to fall apart, they could still spawn a few storms here or there, but shouldn't be severe. We just have to monitor. And actually, they've canceled the severe thunderstorm warning up there, so that's also some good news. All right, mid-70s by 8, low 80s by 11 o'clock this morning, and again, an average of the mid-80s. We'll have a west breeze 5 to 10, and those scattered shower and thunderstorm chances as we head through the afternoon and into the evening. Between 5 midnight, we get that window for maybe some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms. Still mid-70s by 10, mid-60s overnight. Winds expected to be calm. We'll have that northerly breeze tomorrow, so not too bad. A little warmer on Wednesday. For Thursday and Friday, for the 4th, we still have those pop-up storm chances, but that's some good news. That hasn't changed, so they'll be fairly isolated in nature. What will not be is the heat as temperatures begin climbing back into the low 90s just in time for the 4th. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with sports.
All right, Chris, thanks. So the Joplin Outlaws were supposed to play their final game of the year with the Abilene Flying Bison, but once again, rainy weather spoiled the day at the ballpark. Joplin's matchup with Abilene was canceled and will not be rescheduled, but if the season ended today, both of these teams would meet in the Mid-America League Championship, so there's a decent chance the Outlaws will get a rematch with the Flying Bison. Joplin went an undefeated 5-0 against Abilene this season. In the major leagues, both the Royals and Cardinals look to close out weekend series with wins. The Royals look to steal the series against MLB's top team, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Royals snapped a 6-game losing streak against the Dodgers. Yesterday, they strike first. Bobby Witt Jr. lines a double into left field. Jonathan India scores easily, and Casey has a run on the board before the Dodgers record an out. But in the second, with a man on first, Kike Hernandez gets a hold of one. That's gone to left, and the Dodgers take the lead. Then in the sixth, it's Will Smith's turn for a homer. This one's a solo shot to dead center. The Dodgers add 2 more runs, and the Royals can't score after the first. Dodgers win 5-1. The Cardinals look for a sweep of Cleveland. First inning, 2 men on. Nolan Gorman launches one to deep right and gone. St. Louis jumps to a 3-run lead, and that lead was plenty with Matthew Littleton on the mound. He pitches 6 innings, racks up 5 Ks, and allows 0 runs. What a day for the Southpaw in the 7th. Victory Scott, the second at the plate with the man on first, launches a homer to the right. And the Redbirds take down the Guardians 7-0 for the sweep. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, a bear tried to hop a flight in Japan last week. The bear spotted running across the tarmac of the Yamagata airport. Footage shows airport security going after the bear in a car. The airport's deputy manager says the runway was temporarily closed due to the incident. More than 10 flights were affected, and the bear was said to have likely been hiding in the woods near the airport. Well, 4 teams of fully autonomous humanoid robots face off in a soccer match. The game is China's first 3-on-3 soccer game for these robots, powered fully by artificial intelligence. It will be followed by the World Humanoid Robot Games, which will take place in Beijing in August. Organizers say the robots played without any human supervision or intervention. Advanced visual sensors helped them find the ball and move around the field. They were also able to help themselves up after taking a fall. Now, several of the robots were transported off the field on stretchers at one point. China is working to advance their humanoid robot designs, and companies are using sports competitions as a way to showcase their hard work.
That's what it looks like if I try and play soccer now. I just keep falling over. Oh man, those robots. That was more amusing. You know, honestly, I think that's a better soccer game than most. Just watch it. How many of them just fall over? And then did you see the guy? He had to pull those other two back because that one fell over and the other two were like just stomping on him. Really, it's like playing soccer at my age at this point. It's just no good. We do have the scattered thunderstorm chances as a possibility through the morning. Again, we're watching what's taking place to our northwest. It's no longer severe. It was in a weakening state, and it will very likely be that way. But if it tries to develop anything further south, we could get some scattered storms for this morning. We do have a beautiful sunrise, though. We'll be up to the low 80s by 11. Now, again, I also want to talk about the fact, we have that 15 county coverage area. We're looking to average the mid 80s. Some of you, if you get a little more sunshine today, obviously it'll be a bit warmer, maybe a little closer to 90. Some locations maybe just socked in with clouds most of the day and maybe barely make 80 or 81. So it's an average of the mid 80s, scattered thunderstorm chances, and a west breeze around 5 to 10. And we've got that window for some strong, potentially low-grade severe thunderstorms, with hail and wind being the primary concern between about 5 and midnight this evening. So we'll keep an eye on that for you as well. A few lingering scattered showers and storms in the early overnight. Then we should start to clear out a bit. Wind's expected to be calm. Partly cloudy, dry tomorrow into Wednesday, warming up as well. We start getting into the upper 80s. An isolated pop-up storm or two possible for the 4th. So again, don't cancel your plans. Just have a dry place for everything. And temperatures definitely going to feel like the 4th as we climb back into the low 90s. That's Check Your Forecast. We are back with more right after this.